Hey, this is a continuing update on the AMA's GoPro helmet rule. Um, I was not going to make any more videos, um, mostly because this new rule kind of puts the kibosh on my channel and me being able to edit other people's videos because everyone's not going to run a GoPro now, which again diminishes the sport. Um, and I was just going to kind of let it go, but I got an email back that pissed me off. So now it kind of renewed my, I don't know what you would call it, motivation. Um, so after the last video, I contacted AMA again and I said, hey, look, um, I have an idea for a mount that would be like the safest thing ever. And I'll read you the email in a second and I'll go into it. But first, let me address the last email that we got. As most of you who ride motorcycles or dirt bikes or ATV know, that if you watched my last video where the guy said that GoPros are a safety hazard because they can fly into your goggles. I should have done this in the last video, but I want to, if you'll indulge me, I'd like to show you something. And again, the camera work's not going to be great because this is on my phone and I'm just kind of screwing around. But this is one standard hammer. And as you can see, this is one standard set of goggles. So what I'm about to demonstrate is how effective these goggles are protecting. And I hope the dude, if you're watching this, AMA medical guy, expert. Again, one standard hammer, one set of goggles. Okay, I got a set of 100% here and a set of Scotts. Okay. Okay, completely intact. It didn't even really damage the roll-off. So, anyway, that goes to show you what we're up against when it comes to the bullshit factor here. So, I want to read you guys the email that I sent because this is no longer about rider safety. This is about AMA and its bloat that it's gotten over the past couple of years. So I wrote AMA, and I'll read you the email. And I was annoyed when I wrote this, and you should never write an email while you're annoyed. And it's a smidge snarky, but I mean, it's not really that far off. So keep that in mind when I'm reading this to you. I said, hey, can you ask the overlords at the Ministry of Magic if magnets would be acceptable? Trying to be funny, I guess, I don't know. Rare earth magnets that could break away from the mouth of the helmet. Nothing would be rigid, and only thing that would be added are small magnets, just like the magnets that are on some of the roost protectors. Now, in my head, okay, if they're allowing roost protectors, and they're allowing stickers and goggles and most other kind of stuff, why can't the GoPro mount be the same material as what the roost protector is into the helmet? And it's not even up here, it's right here. It's not, you know, again, there's no chance. Just as like I demonstrated, there's no chance of getting hurt, right? So, so my idea is to take little rare earth magnets that look like, you know, like a watch battery, or you put them into your, you know, your dot sight, and then attach them to the helmet, and then the mount would go on the GoPro and then attach to the mouth of the helmet. Thereby, if there's a wreck, the GoPro will, you know, come off. It's not, and there's no mount to get stuck in the ground It essentially overcomes all their objections. But they're so afraid of their own shadow that anything, quote unquote, touching a helmet is bad, except for, you know, the SIP tube. Anyway, so again, I said nothing rigid. You know, the magnets on some roost protectors and SIP tubes, they're small discs. The camera attaches the magnets. I'm asking this first before I buy the materials. Also, can you offer an opinion on overcoming these guys' imagination? Again, as I demonstrated right there, this, you know, for any moms that are watching this, or dads, or anybody who's ever wondered about how much of a beating these goggles can take, there you go. I hit it with a hammer. I want to know what's, like, where, you know, what can I say? I'm asking for this guy's help to help me with the medical board, okay? Can you ask where they're getting their statistics from? Now, that's a legitimate ask. That is me as a member asking someone who works to give me the statistics. I'm not, like, I'm entitled to that. I pay for this supposed service that AMA offers. Please, can I have the information in regards to this important issue? We had 3,000 people sign the petition to get these guys' attention, and they're telling us all to go get fucked. Now, I get it that some of you, like, you know, think it's about trying to build a YouTube channel. It's not. The moral issue here is that the nuts and bolts of this is that they are ignoring their riders, and I'll get into that in a second, okay? So, as I'm sure you know, the commentary about the goggles is pure fiction. However, if I'm going to keep everyone happy, I need to get past their objections. So again, I'm asking for advice. Please tell me what their objections are so that I can make something that they're happy with. We can stop going back and forth, and everyone wins. Everyone wins, right? Everyone wins, okay? Now, finally, my lawyer says that having a video helps with accident reconstruction. Now, I didn't hire a lawyer. I have a friend who's a lawyer who's also into riding. And he essentially said that accident reconstruction, having a GoPro there to see what happens in any sort of incident, overrules the slight chance that someone could possibly get hurt with a GoPro on. Now, to my knowledge, as I've said in past videos, there hasn't been any. There's been guys who've gotten hurt who have had GoPros on, but no GoPros have caused anyone to wreck or for anyone to have a larger traumatic brain injury than they already were going to get. Also, the statistics on this are insane, okay? So even if you consider things like GNCC, there's all the other types of racing, including the hypocrisy of allowing these other types of pros to wear the camera, okay? So even with street bikes, I looked up street bikes, I looked up rock climbing, I looked up skiing. There's never been an incident where a GoPro made the incident worse. Most of the times, the mounts just kind of come off, you know, and there's more than one type of GoPro. And I'll get into that in a second, too. Having accident reconstruction, it actually protects the AMA. And I said, I'm not talking to a lawyer, but it's something you guys should consider. He had a really good, my lawyer friend had a really good bunch of points that maybe the guys in the Hogwarts School of Medicine and Imagination hasn't thought of. I will be at Wild Boar. And I'll get into that probably last, because I'm going to, my big Philadelphian mouth is probably going to get me in trouble. Here's their retort. Don't buy magnets, that's a non-starter. This is a 1 cent. Now, all of my messages have been eloquent. At least I try to be. I was at Big Buck this weekend. It was a non-issue. Out of over 2,000 riders, I had to ask 6 or 7 to take off their cameras, and they did. I did talk to several riders who had them mounted on the bars or front fender, and they all said the footage was fine from there. Even a couple that had it mounted on the back of the fender, which I thought was great. Okay, now, sir, if you're watching this video, I at least have some common respect for me and the things that I've done. Like, you know, maybe I haven't, like, I'm not setting all the world on fire with my riding, but every day, 4 or 5 times a day, I'm helping guys with their GoPros. I'm helping guys with their editing. I'm helping. And please, when I post this in GNCC, and if you guys see this, can you talk to this? Because I know AMA is seeing this. Don't tell me this, because that's bullshit. Okay, maybe they told you that to be nice, and the only reason that they took their cameras off is because you guys were walking around with your badges and making people take them off. And none of those guys, most of the guys that we ride with, are fucking super nice. That's why I'm in this hobby. Is because everyone's cool. Everyone's kind of like-minded, except for these guys at AMA. You can see it in their politics. You can see it in a bunch of different things. They're not on our side, okay? So, some dude walking around with a badge and telling you to take your camera off is compliance through force. It's like when a cop, you know, tells you about an open container. You're like, all right, officer, okay. Hey, you know, thank you for your service. And then they tell you to go get fucked behind your back because it's stupid. You're just using your authority to give them a hard time. Now, here's what really pisses me off. And again, I know you guys are watching this and I apologize. I've been told numerous times that the AMA can't go and fucking look up guys who are riding out of class. But you guys have time to post on fucking Facebook and correct me about arbitrary bullshit? You can, when I was at Ironman this year, okay, I came in like 11th or 10th, okay, and I think Erica, the other girl in my class, finished ahead of me because I got stuck on the hill. When I started, I'm like, fuck, man, I was getting thirds and fifths and fourths, and I was like, fuck, man, I really rode like shit, and I did. My brakes were bad, and I had arm pump and shit, and then I'm driving home with my wife and my kid, and I'm looking, and like there's one dude who hasn't ridden an A or B class or any of this other kind of stuff. I did this within fucking 10 minutes. I looked that stuff up. Here's my retort. Not to be combative, but everyone was trashing you guys over social media. They're making fun of your badges, and you guys pissed everyone off. People complied because you guys used your authority. They didn't do it voluntarily. They were polite because I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself. I apologize. I'm reading about it on Facebook and I'm getting PMs. I'm also helping people correct their footage because of how lousy it is. And again, if you go on YouTube and you search for the video over the weekend, now I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but if you go on YouTube, you can search by like upload date. You can see that the video's absolute garbage. The camera's shaky on her chest. You can see the bottom of the guy's helmet. It's in this frame the entire time. And then the other guy, like anytime he gets up on the bars, the camera's facing straight down. You get a wonderful view of him putting his foot down to get around like curves. And of course they're dirt bike guys, because the dirt bike guys, their riding position's different than us quad guys. And it's certainly different than us fucking 4x4 dudes whose bars are higher up. I'm also helping people correct their footage, which is true. And anybody who knows this, again, I'm trying to help as many people as I can because I'd like to see the sport grow. Also, we look at the guys who lost their... Oh, that's the other thing. A bunch of people lost their GoPros this weekend because the chest is a terrible place to mount it. Again, if you scorpion tail over it, it falls off. So if anybody's watching this who's thinking about doing a chest mount, make sure you use a tether. GoPro sells them. Or you can use fishing line or something like that. There's another video where a guy knocks his camera off and it dangles until he pulls over. So the guy's riding and the bars come up and hit his GoPro. Now you can get good footage off of the chest mount, but you got to use what do you call it? A gimbal. And there's only like 2 wearable gimbals, and those wearable gimbals, you got to use a GoPro 7 or in front. So, you know, so if you're really that into getting good video footage, get a gimbal, the wearable gimbal, and then use a GoPro 5. Each race I added between 4 and 12 people's videos for free. I even pay for a Dropbox so that they don't have to give me their SD cards. Anybody who's out there who needs help, that doesn't know that I help people, and I mean, obviously I'm one person, I can't get overwhelmed. But if you need help with your videos, or you want me to edit one of your videos, let me know, and I'll give you my Dropbox information, and you can drop your video in there, and I'll edit it for you. I mean, I'll do the bare bait. I'm not going to make it into a Michael Bay film or anything like that, but I'll do the best I can for you. I've been slammed helping people around this rule, and now trying to recover their footage. Another guy had his GoPro slam up against the bars, and it corrupted it actually like broke the camera. Anyway, the AMA doesn't have any sort of data to back this rule up. Their statistics are flawed, their hypocrisy is overwhelming, and some of it is plain fiction. And the parts that aren't are false equivalents. Now, if you guys know what that means, I'm going to get into this. So, I don't know, hopefully this video is entertaining, but I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Again, doesn't this bother you guys? It's the emperor's new clothes. It doesn't bother you that you went up and down the starting rows to enforce a rule that's bogus? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if that's your job? You drive all the way from Ohio to South Carolina to fucking tell a bunch of guys who are taking off on their weekend, trying their hardest to take their cameras off to protect the fucking AMA because they don't want to get sued based off of nothing. Meanwhile, you're letting the pros run them. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? It's like fighting a toddler. The magnets would work. They're discs. Anyway, thank you for your time. I'm done. I'll email Eric about everything else. I apologize if I've come across as a dick or impolite, and I actually mean that. But I'm having a hard time with the American Motorcycle Association afraid of a fight based on a phantom fear. Now, allow me to tell you about the American Motorcycle Association, okay? This is from their Wikipedia page. The AMA is an American non-profit organization of more than 200,000 motorcyclists that organizes numerous motorcycling activities and campaigns for motorcyclists' legal rights. That means that the AMA is supposed to take up our case against people who would want to take away our ability to video our races. You guys are supposed to be sticking up for us. It says it in your mantra. It says it on your Wikipedia page. And if it doesn't, if that's not accurate and things have changed, then go ahead and change it. Edit it. Because this isn't how you guys are running things now. You guys are trying to protect your own ass from somebody suing you. Especially when they can't sue you because it's physically impossible for anything you guys are talking about from happening. Its mission statement is to promote the motorcycling lifestyle and protect the future of motorcycling. I guess GoPros are a dire, dire threat to the future of motorcycling. The organization was founded in 1924 and as of October 2016 had more than 1,100 chartered clubs. So, now, supposedly, like, AMA used to have ties to, like, motorcycle gangs and shit like that, and now they're fucking afraid of GoPros. Here's an interesting tidbit, though. From 1924 until the 1950s, the AMA did not allow African Americans to join for 30 years. I guess they were all wearing GoPros. Now, if anybody watching this knows anybody that's within the AMA, I can't get past these guys in the competition. I don't have another email. So if you could give me, if anybody knows a board member please let me know, because here's what we're paying for. If you go to AMA's site and you try to find out who the board of directors are, it won't let you. And then if you want to actually like write the AMA, it's one of these bullshit like CAPTCHA email things where they don't give you an actual email address. You have to enter your information onto the web page and then fire it out into the nether. So now, what the AMA is doing is something called a false equivalence. It's a logical fallacy. And the reason I know so much about this is because I used to be an intelligence analyst in the United States Army. And they send you to intel school and they tell you a bunch of rules of like, they basically send you to, it's almost like a war college. And I had extra training because of some of the guys that I worked with. But what AMA is doing is it's saying that all GoPros are the same, all action cameras are the same, all mounts are the same, all mounting locations are the same. And they're not doing this for our safety. They're doing this to protect their ass. Now, there's my favorite saying, and anybody who knows me knows that this is what I'm talking about. An apple is red, it's round, and you can eat it. A tomato is round, it's red, and you can eat it. However, an apple is not a tomato, okay? So what that means is that these stupid fucking mounts that they're worried about, which no one's gotten hurt with, they're saying they're all the same. So my magnet idea, which is actually a really good idea, because you could have you could take one GoPro and snap it on to a bunch of different chin mounts. Same thing with the Dango mount. That's what they're saying. So, the last thing I have to say is that moms and dads, if you're watching this, the AMA is stopping you from protecting your kids with a camera. And this is basically upon what my lawyer friend has said. So, I encourage you, if your child used to run a GoPro and now they can't, and something happens to them, you might want to look at your options there, because it's my right to want to videotape my race to protect myself. All right, if you go online and you look up "solved by GoPro," where someone either is murdered or hurt. One time an Army guy jumped out of one of the airborne guys jumped out, and his chute didn't open, and they basically did an accident reconstruction because he was wearing a GoPro. So it speaks to what happened. It's a great way to learn. If you used to wear a GoPro and now you can't because of the AMA, you have options. Now, what I think everyone should do is, at this point, I'm at that's it. They're not giving me any information. They don't care. They don't want to care. It's a work. So, and what used to happen is the AMA used to be an organization to protect people, motorcyclists, against harassment. Now it's a big bloated organization where guys are only worried about protecting their job and doing as little as humanly possible to not have to not do anything. This is so essentially what needs to happen is someone needs to advocate for us. No one's doing it, and they're blocking all of us from being able to do anything because they don't care. Not only do they not care, they don't want the headache, and that's why they made this rule. So this video is almost 20 minutes now, or 24 minutes. So I'm tapping out. I will be at Wild Boar. I will be wearing a GoPro. I'm going to wear a GoPro however I feel like wearing a GoPro, and if they want to kick me out, they can kick me out. But I'm wearing a GoPro. So that's that. And if you guys all keep taking your GoPros off and you keep being part of the problem and not the solution, and being like, yeah, man, I'm going to wear this. I'll take my chances. And if you want to suspend me, that's what you have to do. You can't just be like, okay, I don't really want to, but I'll take it off. Because these guys think they're doing the Lord's work. They're all happy about this. They're nothing gives these guys more pleasure than walking down the line and telling you, hey, take that fucking GoPro off. They sent guys to Big Buck to tell you to take your GoPros off. They spent money to send guys, and they can't. There's how many things of all the stuff I'm reading where they failed, but they have time to send dudes to Big Buck to tell you to take your GoPro off so that you protect them from getting sued or from having to deal with a lawsuit. That's their fucking job. So again, here we are. There's another issue. We have a big corporate entity who's supposed to be doing what they're that says they're doing what they're supposed to do, and they do not have your best interests at heart. And there's some sort of money thing going on with them pros. Otherwise, it wouldn't be like this. So, yeah, that's all I got. So, everyone stay safe. I'll see you at Wild Boar. And that is my Renegade. I'm going to be racing either in the Warrior class or 4x4C. I haven't really decided yet. I haven't ridden in a couple of months. So I'll be one of those two. I'll be at. Come talk to me if you want to hear more, because there's some stuff that coming down the pike I don't want to say on here. So, and we'll go from there. So, anyway, thanks. Bye.